If he's not the man for you, he's not the man for you. Now again, when it comes to red flags, I'm not a believer of you see it, you run, you're done. No, you address it, and if it cannot be corrected, then you absolutely let go. No real commitment. Like, what are we doing here? A man who is serious about a relationship will want to commit. Maybe he came off really great at first and you wanted to hold on to the person he sold you, but again, your spirit saw through that. Some of you believe that an ex should always remain an ex. Why are you going back to the past? Leave them there. If they found themselves being an ex to you, then there's a reason why, and you don't need to forget that. However, slow down. Slow down. That's not always the case, all right? There's gonna be some situations where reconciling with an ex is the right move, but there's gonna be many situations where he does not deserve a second chance. So let's talk about when he does not deserve a second opportunity. Number one, you knew he was never the one to begin with. Why are we sitting here trying to entertain getting back with someone when you knew they were never for you? When you knew you were never truly into them? When you knew that's not where God wanted you to be? So why even bother? I don't care how many sorries he says. I don't care what he explains to you that he's now learned. I don't care if he begs and pleads. If he's not the man for you, he's not the man for you. And you got to hold true to that and let him go. And you have to learn to trust your intuition, because it is your intuition, your spirit, that is trying to speak to you and trying to tell you. And the vast majority of cases, as a woman, you know. I don't really have to tell you. You know, but are you willing to accept the answer? Are you willing to embrace what your spirit is telling you, or are you trying to rationalize past it? And the reality is, all these failed marriages, failed relationships were women who rationalized past their intuition, their spirit, or God telling them he's not the guy. So in those situations, he doesn't deserve no second chance. He doesn't deserve not a drop of your damn time, all right? Let him go. But number two, let's just say, we're going to leave that to the side for a second about whether you know he's the one or not. Number two, he ain't learned a damn thing from what he did the first time. Listen, I've seen so many situations where the guy, violates in the relationship, whether it's cheating, disrespect, inappropriate behavior, whatever the case may be, all right? You have a big fight, you break up. Now, he comes back saying, I'm sorry. But I'm sorry means nothing. The best apology is changed behavior. So if he hasn't changed his behavior, if he can't even explain to you why he now understands it was wrong for him to do those things, if he can't show you the growth in grasping the whole dynamic and why it was wrong, then there's no reason for you to entertain it. You've got to leave it alone. Sorry is not enough. Begging is not enough. Showing up at your job, calling you a bunch of times, or begging your family members to talk to you is not enough. Has he shown true growth and understanding from what was done wrong? And is he now willing and showing a true change in behavior? And I know you may say, well, listen, how am I supposed to know he really changed unless I take him back first? Let's stop kidding ourselves. We can see change in people. We can see that the energy, the spirit has shifted when someone has really humbled themselves in understanding how they were wrong. But in many cases, there is no humbleness in it. There is arrogance in it. There is deflection in it. There is saying, oh, it's not a big deal. You're tripping. We need to just leave this alone. Put it in the past. That's not enough. Let him go. All right, so I just gave you a couple reasons why he does not deserve a second chance. But let's consider when he needs or deserves a second chance. And at this point, you probably figured it out already. If one, he's actually learned from his mistakes, all right? If the man can show true growth, then there's no reason for you to say, well, he's an ex, he has to remain an ex. No, like if he can show you that he has become the man he needs to be, then why wouldn't you entertain that? But I cannot give you that reason by itself, because the real reason you should even be considering taking the ex back, giving him a second chance, is when you can honestly say there's a genuine connection here. When you can honestly say that you've prayed about it, you've asked God, and God said, yes, this is where you belong. Now, if that is in place, all right? And we can add to it that this man has learned and can explain where he went wrong and show growth. Now a second chance can be given. But you cannot overlook talking to God. You cannot overlook trusting your spirit and getting in tune with your spirit to begin with. Without that, nothing else matters. So there's gonna be some situations where, yes, taking them back is the right thing to do, because sometimes it is the right person, wrong time. And I will do a completely different video diving into that belief, okay? But outside of that, he doesn't deserve another damn chance, period. And you got to be real with yourself and understand when you're dealing with the wrong man, and you don't need to drag this on any longer. So great men exist, amazing men exist, but also horrible men exist. Evil, no good, not worth your damn time men exist. And some men are good and still not worth your time. And that's why today's video is going to help shed light on who you should be giving your time to and who you should not. We're going to talk about when he's not worth it versus when he's just not perfect. Because there's a difference there, all right? So let's get into first, he's not worth it. So let me make something very clear to you. Here are some signs for you to see or to embrace so that you know that this man is not worth your time and you should not be entertaining him. Number one, he does not communicate with you. Now listen, this is one of those situations where I'm not saying that every man who struggles with communication is a bad man. I'm not saying that every man who can't communicate has ill intentions, but he is still not worth it for you, at least at that time, because you cannot establish a healthy, successful relationship with a man who does not want to talk to you, with a man who does not know how to express himself, or at least is willing to learn how to better express himself. One of the biggest deteriorators of relationships are a lack of communication or unhealthy, toxic communication. So you've got to recognize very quickly, if this guy is unwilling to communicate, he is not worth your time. Now, some men will make the excuse, and some women will make the excuse for these men, oh, well, he's just not used to it. He grew up around this, or his past relationships that. Okay, cool. I'm not even going to dismiss that. I'm not saying we can't have any sympathy or empathy for this man. However, he can't use that as a crutch. You can't accept that he's a bad communicator and think you're going to work your way through that while being in a relationship with him. That's not going to work. Again, you are more than likely headed towards absolute, complete disaster. So don't make excuses. If that is his issue, he needs to go work on it, fix himself, and when he's ready to have healthy communication, now we can discuss having a real relationship. So that's number one. He does not communicate well with you. Number two, he's very dismissive of your feelings. So one of the things that you'll find in a lot of situations is women saying, well, I try to talk to him and he either calls you crazy, or he thinks it's stupid, or he just somehow deflects, all right? Or dances around the topic completely. Now, this kind of goes hand in hand with his unwillingness or inability to effectively communicate. But regardless, being dismissive, and I literally just had a video about you should not be dismissive, man or woman, but being dismissive on his end is a huge red flag. Now, again, when it comes to red flags, I'm not a believer of you see it, you run, you're done. No, you address it, and if it cannot be corrected, then you absolutely let go. But if he is dismissive, that is a huge sign of a man who is not worth your time. Now, again, and I'll elaborate more on this a little bit later, if he had a moment where he was dismissive, but he is typically welcoming of your feelings, open to listening to you, willing to talk about it, then I'm going to give him a pass on that moment. It still needs to be corrected, but it's understandable that that was just a mistake on his end. But when he is consistently dismissive, ain't nothing to talk about. Nothing to talk about. So again, doesn't communicate well. Very dismissive of you. Number three, he disrespects you. Now listen, disrespect can come in various forms with how people view specific things as disrespectful will vary with each person. And so it's important that I say here, disrespect is going to be defined by you to a certain extent. There are some things that are pretty much universal, I would say, when it comes to being disrespectful. But there are going to be very specific things that you take offense to that someone else doesn't. So understand that you cannot assume that this man will know automatically that this is a disrespectful thing. That may sound crazy, but what would be best to do is, once the disrespect has occurred in your eyes, again, address it. Now, if he continues to be disrespectful, when you've made it clear this is a problem for you, this hurts your feelings, whatever, let him go. He is not worth it. Any man who is going to knowingly disrespect you and continuously disrespect you is not someone you should be entertaining. I don't give a damn if he has a moment of showing you all kinds of love. I don't care if he says all kinds of great things in other situations. If this man is continuously disrespectful, I don't care if he's paying your damn bills, all right? I don't care what else he's doing. If he is continuously disrespectful to you, he is not worth it. Let him go. Now, I can run down a lot of other things that would make a man not worth it. You know what? Let me add a couple more. Before I switch to he's just not perfect, let me give you a couple more reasons to understand he's not worth it. Number 4, y'all don't want the same things. Now listen, this is another situation where he may not be a horrible guy. He may not have quote unquote ill intentions, all right? But if you two are not on the same page and you don't want the same things, then this man is not worth it. Trying to convince him to want what you want is a huge mistake. Hoping that he will change and now shift his desires to what you want is a bad mistake. You've got to embrace and accept what he's telling you he desires, where he stands, and if it does not align with what you are looking for, let it go. So many women get caught up and dragged along in situations, months, years, whatever, with men who never wanted what they wanted, who were never gonna give you what you needed, were never gonna fulfill you in the ways that you're looking for, was never going to be able to have a successful, happy, healthy relationship with you. You gotta recognize that as quickly as possible and cut them loose. There is no point in continuing if you do not want the same things. So, again, we can talk about a lot of various other things, but those 4 to me are huge signs. He's not worth it. Now let's talk about he's just not perfect. All right. So again, I can give different examples, but what this is really going to sum up to be is a man who is showing consistent effort but makes mistakes is the man who just isn't perfect. But when he shows a willing desire to learn, a desire to talk to you, a desire to make the necessary adjustments when you make clear what is a problem, then this is a man who's not perfect and can be worth your time. Now, granted, listen, there are some other reasons where even the man who shows effort, even the man who's willing to make adjustments may simply not be the man for you, all right? That is possible, but he would still fall under the category of he's just not perfect. And he's not like the other guys who is clearly just not willing to give you what you need or be the man that you need in your life right now. So with this guy, the way that you test out if he isn't perfect is, again, always be willing to address situations. Do not assume he knows better. Do not assume he knows how you feel. He cannot read your mind. And even the man who loves you, even the man who deeply cares about you, sometimes needs direction from you. Because what you specifically require, what you're specifically looking for, may not be what he's accustomed to, may not be what he's been exposed to. And so his inability to connect with that is not proof of him not being worth your time. It's not proof of him having ill intentions. It's simply proof of he is not fully aware of all of your needs and desires. Yes, I would love to encourage men to try to get as in tune with your partner as possible, to learn how to read body language, to understand her cues, to not have to hear very specific words to know what's going on. I want to stress that. That is important for men to learn how to do with the woman they love and are trying to establish a great relationship with. But I don't want women listening to this to scapegoat that. I don't want you to think, well, that's just the way it should be always. He needs your help sometimes. And that's how you will see how serious he is. Because when you can tell him how you feel, and then he responds with listening, with being open, with making adjustments, then you have someone there who is willing to work with you. Also, in evaluating a man who is just not perfect, it's one thing to be consistently bad with good moments versus to be consistently good with bad moments. See, the guy who isn't worth it is typically consistently bad, all right? Even if you want to say it's 60-40, he still has a very strong, consistent presence of being unhealthy or doing things that are going to undermine the success of the relationship. Whereas the guy who isn't perfect is typically consistently good, consistently showing effort, but he does have moments of making mistakes. He does have moments where he may let his emotions get the best of him. He does have moments where he may say something disrespectful. Now, again, I am not trying to excuse it or validate it, but I have seen people lose themselves in a moment and say the wrong thing, but that was not the example of their true character. And again, it ran contrary to what they were consistently doing, which was pouring in love, which was showing effort, which was listening to their partner. So look closely at that, because sometimes we try to hold on to the good in the bad people, and we reject the good in the good people because they made the mistake. All right? I always say the woman a man loves the most has the least room for error. The F-boy, so to speak, he can mess up a bunch of times. And for various reasons, which we won't talk about in this video right now, a woman will let him have another chance. Whereas the great, amazing guy, he messes up once or twice and it's out the door. All right? And to shed some light is because his actions or his faults hurt way more than the other guy who you know is toxic and unhealthy. But either way, evaluate what is consistently going on here. Is he showing an effort? Is he willing to listen? Is he willing to communicate? And give him credit for that. And understand that, yes, this guy is not perfect, but we can work together. So all that to say again, knowing the difference between who to be patient with and who to cut off is everything. It's important. And I'm hoping this video has shed some light on that. Some of this might sound like common sense to some people, but some of this might be a revelation or a refresher in your mind to really help you be mindful with evaluating these things and understanding the man who is not worth it versus the man who isn't perfect. So number one, and let me just be clear. These signs are not, even when I give some of these signs, there are some situations where a dude could do some of these things and he still ain't for you. All right? But they still have to be there. Like if they're there, it's not 100% guarantee that he is, but if they're not there, guarantee he's not. Gotcha. All right? So one thing is always that the man gives you his time. I think that if
this is about to be hilarious. Stephan, can you explain what you mean by time? Let's say a guy was busy and working and he got things going on. Let's make sure we're clear about what time means.
Well, I mean that he's willing to give that woman his time. I just feel like this, like any man could spend money. Money isn't as great of an indicator of real interest as time is. Yes. You know what I'm saying? Now, granted, a man who's about something in his life doesn't have an abundance of time to give. So this is why it's tricky, because again, if a dude has nothing going on for himself, he got all the time in the world to give you, all right? So it can become very deceptive because he will give you 10, 12 hours of his day because he ain't got nothing else going on. Whereas the dude who's busy and trying to make things happen, he may only have 3, 4 hours of his day to give you. Hell, he may only have 10 hours of the week sometimes to give you, depending on what's going on. But so understand that in that dynamic, he's still giving you a chunk of his valuable time. Yeah. You see, so the bum on the couch, He's not giving you value time because he has plenty of it. You know what I'm saying? It's not worth much to him. So it's easy. But to the guy who's actually doing stuff, and again, hopefully the women are only entertaining or will only entertain a man who has something going on in his life. When he gives you time, there's more value there. All right? So I do believe that in a general sense, time is a greater indicator of genuine interest than money is. You see what I'm saying? But again, it doesn't stand alone. Number two is how he's respective of your feelings. So to me, that is one of the greatest indicator of how serious a man is about you, is when you can tell him how you feel and he hears you out and is trying to work on fixing it. Men who are not serious about you, men who just want to sleep with you, they're going to dismiss it. They're going to deflect. They're going to turn the tables on you. They're going to make you think you're crazy, gaslight you, whatever. But a dude who's serious wants to hear you out and wants to at least try to see how we can make this better. And so for women listening to this, the key is you got to tell him how you feel. You can't expect him to guess and just know on his own. You got to say, this is the problem. Express yourself in a calm, loving manner. And if he's serious about you, he will hear you out. Number three, he's willing to commit to you. So a lot of these women, they 5 months, 7 months, 2 years, 10 years, no real commitment. Like, what are we doing here? A man who is serious about a relationship will want to commit. Granted, various situations have different dynamics, and it's not about specific amount of time. Like 3 months in one situation is not the same 3 months in another situation. Because with one side, it might be, yo, we talked a lot in that 3 months, so we should know what we have here and what we want to do. The other person, yo, we talked here and there. We haven't really gotten a chance to see each other. There may be a little bit more time necessary before we can make this official. So it can vary, but ultimately, the man who's serious is willing to give that woman commitment. You know what I'm saying? And is willing to see a future with that woman. Can he show you how he's looking at us, me and you, him and that woman down the line? Or is he just caught up in, let's just go with the moment, let's just go with the flow, let's not worry about all that? That's a red flag right there.
Listen, he was never the right man for you. I come across so many women who are still dwelling on or struggling with the loss of a previous relationship, who are still holding on to the pain that a previous man has caused them. And now listen, there's no judgment here. It's completely understandable that you are going through the emotions that you go through. It's completely understandable that you get triggered at times by these things because you gave so much into that man. You tried so hard to make it work, and you really wanted to see it become an amazing or great relationship. But that doesn't change the fact that he was never the right man for you. And you've got to realize that, yes, you gave time and energy not simply to relationships in general, not simply to men in general, but to that man who was the wrong man, to that man who did not show you he was worthy of being with you in a relationship, to that man who your spirit, your intuition told you he wasn't it. But you decided to push past it. Now, again, I don't want you to feel bad about that and beat yourself up, but I want you to acknowledge the fact that you knew he was not for you. The fact that you decided to look past the red flags. And it happens to so many women all day, every day. And there's various reasons why it happens. Maybe you were afraid to be alone. Maybe you felt like time is running out. I need to get me a relationship. Maybe you just felt lonely. Maybe you just wanted to have companionship in your life. Maybe family pressure. Maybe he came off really great at first and you wanted to hold on to the person he sold you. But again, your spirit saw through that. And so when you accept he was never the man for you, I want you to also accept that your spirit always knew that your intuition understood what was going on. But as a woman, you've got to get comfortable with embracing your intuition. You have to stop ignoring the blessing God gave you. It is there for a reason. And I can tell you, in all my years of doing this, I don't think I've ever come across a woman who said her intuition is wrong. Now, some people may say, well, plenty of women got their intuition wrong. No, I would argue that plenty of women got their analyzation wrong, and they may have put the label of intuition, but when you really sit them down and when you really get to the core of the matter, their intuition was never wrong. They try to convince themselves and the world around them that they belonged here, that this relationship can work, that this is the right guy, but you always knew he was never the right man for you. And if anything, thank God he's gone. Thank God that relationship did not go any further, because it was never gonna make you happy. It was never gonna make you a better woman. And let me mention real quick, too many of you are in relationships where you're making him better, but he does not do the same for you. Where you're pouring into him, you're uplifting him, but he's only draining you. You don't belong there. And some of y'all, it's not that he was never the right man. It's the man you're with now is not the right man. And I want you to listen to this video all the way to the end, because I want you to find the strength that you do have within you to let him go. That you have within you to do what is truly best for you. God did not put you here to be in an unhealthy relationship that does not serve you and him. He did not put you here to be miserable. He did not put you here to deal with a man who is constantly stressing you out and not pouring love, positivity, compassion into your life. That is not what you have been created for. You have a greater purpose in this world, and it's to align yourself with a man who you can share an amazing life with. Now, yes, some women may have a purpose that goes beyond just being in a relationship. I mean, we all do, but may not include being in a relationship. But before you come to the conclusion that you're meant to be single, don't come to that conclusion because you're tired, you've lost hope, and you don't think any good options are out there. If you come to that conclusion, let it only be because God told you in prayer, because you feel peace in your spirit about being single and no longer entertaining relationships. But back to the fact that he was never the right man for you. Listen, I want you to know wholeheartedly, there is a great man out there. I want you to know that you can have what you desire, but you've got to learn to stop entertaining the wrong men. You've got to learn to reject the belief or the perception that good men do not exist. You've got to learn to see past this idea that this is the best that I can do. No, if you're not happy, you could do better. If you guys don't have a connection, you could do better. If he is not making you a better woman as you make him a better man, then you can do better. Understand, he was never the right man for you. And what you need to focus on now, if that man is gone, you need to heal. If that man is here, let him go and then you heal. Either way, you need to heal. You need to make sure you resolve the pain and disappointment that's been lingering in your life. Because the reality is this. The fact that you were even with the wrong man, the fact that you ignored your intuition was because there is something that has hurt you in your past that you have not resolved. It may be in your childhood, involving your father, your mother, your siblings, whoever. It may be past romantic relationships. But one way or another, there was brokenness that occurred. And whenever I say the word broken, I do not want you to take offense to that. I want you to simply look at it for what it is. We have all taken hits in life. We have all been cracked, bruised, and sometimes, yes, broken, but we all have the ability to heal from it. And so now here is your opportunity to heal for you, for your kids if you have any, and for the sake of your future relationship, because it is in your healing, in you finding your true self again, in you allowing your positive feminine energy to flow out of you, that you're going to get what you've been waiting and hoping and praying for all this time. And you deserve it, and you can receive it. But again, he was never the man for you. Let him go. Understand, you know what? We must learn from those situations. We don't dwell on them. We don't project his shortcomings onto the next man, because the next man may be that great man who wants to love you and pour into you. But it is not fair for him to have to deal with the damage the other man did. It is not fair for him to take on the burden of the issues that you are still holding on to. You cannot have the mentality that the man loves me enough, he will help heal me. No, he can't heal you, only you can. You've got to do the work. You got to put it on yourself. You got to take responsibility in your life. You got to come to him at your better self, not your lower level self, expecting him to fix it up. Don't put that on him. The same way he should not put it on you. You are not here to fix him. He is not here to fix you. You are here to come together as two whole individuals who have found yourselves, who are healed, and who are ready to have an amazing, loving relationship. So again, he was never the right man for you. Let it go. Let's focus on healing. Let's set yourself up for something greater that's going to come your way, and trust and believe God wants you to have the best.
Hey, thank you for watching this video. Be sure to check this one out right here, and I'll see you there.
I pray you receive the person who is truly best for you. I want you to get all the blessings God has waiting for you. And so my hope when I do these videos is to make sure that you are not just prepared